32 halves-star advantage. So Oxygen was able to do a lot of damage with those Banshees, and he's forcing RedArchon to really do something to answer. Once again, this Banshee coming in, 2 kills already, trying to work on these Marines. He's going to have to stop burning scan, does not have energy on either, so right now he's in a lot of trouble. And this Banshee is just free. We're even working on the command center. Don't think I agree with this. Now he's switching to the Marines. Up to 7 kills. And more of an Air Force coming in. Going to be backed up by all these Vikings. So this is a really bad situation for RedArchon right now.
These Vikings just being really helping out this one Banshee. Always just really air superiority is really all I can say about this. Is just those Vikings making sure no Banshees are going to be taken out, at least for Oxygen so far. He's got 2 Banshees with all these kills now and all these Vikings. Now he doesn't have much of a ground force, that's the thing. He's got pretty much mostly air with only a handful of Marines on the ground, but really he's just connecting all these units nicely together because they're playing well together and it's just working very well.
Yeah,
so
the
far.
Commander Banshee is repaired, so it might even actually get some more kills. We do have a Viking and a Banshee position on the right side. Presumably, Oxygen is thinking about coming in from the left and then going into the main with this slightly out of position side armor here. Unless it's a missed rally point and these units are forgotten about, which can happen, but I imagine Oxygen should be on top of that. Meanwhile, we are seeing Oxygen taking the gold expansion, really trying to push the advantage right now. Pushing out once again with this huge air force. And it's basically going to be up to this mass marine ball. They will do lots of nice damage to air units, but the range on these Banshees and Vikings is so huge, it's going to take a long time for the Marines to close. And if Oxygen can micro effectively, he will be able to do so much damage with his air dominance. Now he is pulling those units from the side, so they were neglected. Cloak going off early, trying to get a few as quickly as possible. He does have the energy for a scan and a couple of Vikings, as well as having a Raven out now. So I feel that he doesn't have quite as much of an advantage, but he does have a lot of units. 2 more Banshees joining right now. More Banshees on the way. Even upgrading ship upgrades right now, so he's really committing to this Air Force. And RedArchon has just been going huge defense, trying to get lots and lots of Marines online. And if these Banshees can get a few clear shots after the Vikings snipe the Raven, then RedArchon's going to be in huge, huge trouble.
Yeah, that one Raven's so important to this whole fight because he, at the moment, RedArchon is using all his energy on these mules to really keep up. At the moment, if that one Banshee goes down, sorry, that one Raven goes down, it's all over. As now the Air Force is moving in again, these missile turrets can be very important too. One being taken out, the Vikings laying into these Banshees now. They're now cloaking, so now there's a bunch of these Marines getting taken out by these Banshees. There's so many Banshees, they're going to be forced back. The Raven did go down, so there is nothing left apart from scans. It's just these Viking, like, Top Gun wars in the air here. Just so many Marines on the cliff too. This is just amazing how many Marines are getting slaughtered in this fight. And the Vikings just doing a perfect job of keeping the enemy RedArchon Banshees, Vikings at bay, sorry. And now these Banshees are free to really go to town on this
forcing RedArchon to really just try desperately to hold on, looking like he's going to go for an attack with his remaining ground forces, assuming there's not much to hold, but there's 2 siege tanks popping out while this horde of Banshees continue to do so much work. These Vikings now getting command centers, lifting off, trying to get that in the red. Only a few Marines there. These Banshees could basically level it. Probably a little bit worried about this push coming out, but there's 2 C-sub tanks came out. Really nice timing there by Oxygen, and RedArchon is in really bad shape. Still committing though, landing his expansion, going to keep trying and keep hammering at it. Maybe he can make a miraculous recovery here, but there's a lot of Banshees looking like Oxygen's going to retreat, go for a big repair, reinforce, and then possibly think about the death blow, because if he waits too much longer, he does not want to let RedArchon back in this game, but RedArchon is so far behind. That opening Raven snipe was so nice with so many Banshees, and right now he just has such a huge force that I don't know if there's anything RedArchon can do to come back into this game.
He does, as far as RedArchon is concerned, he can just pump out a bunch of these Marines and he can reinforce them very, very quickly. So as you were saying, if he holds on a bit longer, he can have a lot of these Marines. As long as he has basically cloak, you know, basically if he can find the cloak, if he keeps this Raven up or keeps scan saved, he'll be okay. But if the Raven goes down, it is bad news. So he's just going to reinforce. Oxygen has a bunch of these siege tanks now on the ground, which he can move up if he wants to start pressing on the ground. So it looks like he will do that. But so many Banshees. There's looks like there's 13 Banshees in the air now and 9 Vikings to support them. So he can take out a whole ground force if they don't have any anti.
Yeah, and this gold expansion is really humming for Oxygen right now. Scanning these Marines as they're working on the rocks. Counter scan going off. Both players aware of what's going on. But looking like all these Vikings trying to come in. Marines trying to close. A little bit of a mistake there by Oxygen. He knows he needs to snipe the Raven, and RedArchon is being super cautious with it. He's got 2 Ravens out, and a lot of Marines. It's just going to become a case of executing them. Got 100 energy on his main orbital. That's going to be huge. Banshee's closing in now, trying to get a few snipes off. Another scan going in. There's just so many Banshees, though. The Vikings just can't work their way through them. There is quite a lot of Vikings for RedArchon, but there's just so many Vikings for Oxygen, and Oxygen has bought the space for his siege tanks to close. This is huge. The Marines going to take so much damage from the siege tanks. Siege tanks have been going off all over the place. Vikings trying to work on the Banshees, but the Vikings of Oxygen going to work on the Vikings of RedArchon. Top Gun wars going off in the middle there. Banshee just pulling out while this is going on, looking like RedArchon may take the air dominance, so we'll be able to work on these Banshees. That point defense room is absolutely crucial. But now these Banshees fleeing, they should probably just commit to the attack, unless just going to go for a cloak run. Siege tanks closing though. More and more losses for RedArchon, forcing the Vikings to land. This is bad news. Now the Banshees should be free to come back in. That's all the Vikings cleaned up. These Banshees should come and rejoin the attack. But looking like it's just too much for RedArchon, and RedArchon taps out. So we're going to even up at 1-1. Trip to America and a minimum $1,000 and a spot in the grand final on the line, and it's an ace match.